That's the talk, and then push it again to not talk.
Does the light come? Oh, the light comes on. Okay.
What about
All right.
this one over here?
Getting that one?
Okay.
What if you don't want to talk? Whoa.
Well,
Testing 1, 2.
I can be the chairman. 100 Kapalua. If I'm chairman, I'll move myself to first. Well, I understand. I'll be quiet.
Great committee, you looking for it?
Yes.
We're here.
Okay. Thank you.
I might be the only one here. We got a big crowd.
Huge.
Yeah. And when you get these trees up there, it's always been that way.
So it's 9 o'clock. I'd like to begin this month's meeting of the Somerville Tree Protection Board. Our first item of business is the approval of minutes from the last meeting. Is there any discussion, changes, etc. with those? I wasn't there for that meeting.
I make a motion that we approve those minutes as
And I
presented.
second it.
All in favor of accepting the minutes?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Next order of business is removal of one pine tree at 138 Comiskey Park Circle. Is there someone here representing that tree? You can step forward if you wish and explain what it is your concern is about that tree.
I have one major concern, a couple of some smaller concerns, and then some other issues. Major concern is I'm afraid of that tree going down in a storm. Get a hurricane come through here or a big storm, I'm afraid of the tree going down. That tree's, I estimate, between 70 to 75 feet tall. My house is 20 feet from there. My neighbor's house is 20 feet from there. The neighbor across the street, probably about 50 feet from there. He has a 5-year-old daughter. It's going to take out somebody's house when that thing goes down. That's my primary concern. You know, and I've been asking for now 10 years to take that thing down.
Have you come here to do that?
To the tree, well, I've never had come to the Tree Protection Board. I've had, and I put the permits in, or put the application in rather. And both times it was denied by the arborist or whomever, the group of 4 people that come out. So that's my primary concern. I'm concerned about safety, you know, because I don't want my house destroyed. I like my house. I don't want my neighbors hurt. The other concerns I have are relatively minor. I know the tree sits closer to my neighbor than to my neighbor's driveway than does me. He's continually getting sap on his cars. He's continually having to clean them. The roots have already started taking up the sidewalk right in front of the tree, because the tree's literally about 2 feet from the sidewalk, and it's already starting to pop.
We've seen it.
You see, so I'm afraid that someday it's going to start hitting my neighbor's driveway too. And so that part of it is more of a nuisance. I mean, I've, you know, it during the summer, almost every day I could be out there picking up pine needles, because it doesn't want to shed during the winter. It wants to shed during the summer, and it just unsightly, soaks up all the water from our grass. So my grass has spots on it. I don't know if you noticed that, but you know, so I'm getting letters or notes from the HOA committee saying, "Hey, you need to do some more with your lawn." I'm doing everything I can.
Well, I didn't notice that. Did anybody notice that part? That's pretty extreme, if you don't mind my saying so, getting notes from the HOA.
Yeah, I know. And sad part is I used to be a president of that HOA. So, but it's a different manager company now and whatnot. So that's a battle I'm fighting on that front. And I'm trying to explain to him I'm doing everything I can, but with a tree taking all the water out of the lawn, I can't do a whole lot.
Okay. Bill, your assessment of the tree, the conditions, et cetera?
It was a very healthy tree. I didn't see it looked through the sidewalk, the city sidewalk, about, you know, maybe a half an inch to an inch or so up. So it is starting to do that.
Explain what the city will do.
Almost like I'm grinding that little lip off that's coming up, so it's not a hazard.
And if it gets even worse, they'll.
Usually rip the sidewalk up and report the sidewalk.
So that is something that comes up a lot. And
They're doing that they got a crew doing that all the time. Sidewalk.
okay, any thoughts and discussion?
I was wondering, I didn't think about it the other day, but when we were out there, I wonder what's the right of way on that street? Do you know, Bill, right offhand?
Usually the back of the sidewalk in the subdivision.
Yeah. Just trying to think how close it was to the right of way.
Any thoughts, Ginger?
It's a very healthy tree, and I can't see any reason, any way in the ordinance that would permit us to give you approval to cut that tree down. we have very specific things that we look for. And certainly everybody is concerned with the safety of trees. And if we gave permission for everybody that was concerned with the safety of the trees possibly falling over in a hurricane or a storm, we wouldn't have many trees left in Somerville.
And I understand that. One of my questions is, because I've read through a little bit on the ordinance, and I know there's a mitigation, but also or possibly a fee to the city.
Right.
What would that, if I could, based on that, if I could get pushed through to that to get permission to take the tree taken down, what would that entail?
Bill, you want to share that with him?
Jesse, is that changed or is that,
Not yet.
so it would be, you'd have to mitigate 100% of the caliber inches of that tree if they would approve for that tree to be removed.
Okay. And I also saw or a fee to the city. What would that fee be?
You would get a quote from a landscaper to install the 3-inch tree in the town.
Mm-hmm.
And make up ever how many inches that is.
22.
22 inches.
Mm-hmm. So you're looking at 8 trees
seven
or
trees.
just 7 to 8 trees.
3-inch caliber trees. They usually run $500 to $600 installed
Each.
each.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a little more than I can afford. As it is, to take that tree down, I'm looking at about $1,800. And it's not cheap. But again, the tree is nothing but to me it's a nuisance. It doesn't provide anything to me, because limbs are up too high to provide any shade. It sucks the water out of my grass. It drops sap on my neighbor's cars, and he's always complaining. So that's kind of what I'm dealing with. But of course I can't afford, an average $600 per tree for mitigation.
Well, what Ginger said is right. We're constrained. This would be an exception were we to approve this.
Yes, I understand.
You understand that.
Yes.
And it's difficult to do those with so much attention as the town grows, as trees disappear through no fault or control of our own. And in many ways, it is still the Tree Protection Board. So it's not just as it's written, it is sort of the mentality of the organization, which you have said you already understand. I don't know that we could justify at this point. That doesn't mean there will be issues later that will become more hazardous, taller, challenging a neighbor's sidewalk. But at this point, I don't see that we could, in good faith to the ordinance that we're to uphold, to approve the removal of that tree. Sorry.
Okay. Not the answer I was hoping for.
Pardon me?
It's not the answer I was hoping for.
I know.
But I understand where you're coming from. But I'm the one living with it, and so is my neighbor, and all that. So it's just it is what it is.
I understand. I have trees next to my house that I wouldn't dare ask the tree committee to cut down, and they do a whole lot more damage than that one. It's just, it is what it is. We live where we do. That tree was saved when that subdivision was made because it was a really healthy, straight tree. I cannot see an exception under these circumstances, and that does not mean that in the future things change.
Don't need to vote.
Anyone want to make a motion?
Well, we do appreciate you coming here and sharing your concerns, and we do sympathize with you. I'm going to make a motion that we deny approval of removal of this tree.
I'll second it.
Here we have a second. Any more discussion on the motion? And let's vote. All those in favor of the motion by Ginger to remain the tree in place, say aye.
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 Opposed?
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir. Second order of business is 114 Kapalua Run. Is there a representative of that property? You're in 100, sir, is that right? Yeah. Okay, Bill, what do you say about these trees? And
It's a healthy pine tree in the front yard. It's got some, look like pine bark beetles that look to me like, and some of the bark at the bottom where it looked like a woodpecker or something been eating at it, pecking at it, but that's pretty normal. I didn't see anything wrong with the tree besides that.
no,
I showed
Yeah.
that to y'all, so.
yeah. Ginger?
Yeah.
Bill, anything?
It looked very healthy, had a dark green crown. And like Bill said, the beetles in the bark is normal.
Yeah, and
See
that's
that?
not the dendroctonus.
It's not detrimental to the tree.
I think the arborist pointed that out to the landowner, and she got all upset, not realizing that that was a common occurrence, so.
Right, and it's not the bad.
I mean, it's a
southern pine
beautiful
beetle.
tree, and it certainly adds value to their house, so I see no reason to remove it. So I'm going to make a motion that we deny approval of removal of this tree, this one pine tree at 114.
And I'll second it.
Okay. Going to vote, all in favor of having the tree remain in place, vote aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None? Okay, the next and last order of business is on the same street, 100 Kapalua Run. And you are representing that property, I assume, sir? Come to talk to us and say what's on your mind, please.
I have one tree got approved, because it's,
We
you know,
saw
it's
it.
got a tunnel at the bottom.
Right, we saw it.
Structurally damaged, yes.
Tree number one.
But I called Mike Black out, from Mike's tree service, to give me an estimate. He said that one needs to come down. One in the middle is shedding bark, so that one needs to come down. And then ask about the other one. Now, obviously, you're not gonna let me take the other one down, because he just said, hey, maybe we can get all three at the same time.
That's his business.
Well, he does a lot of business with the city or whatever, and he was, I don't know. Yeah, I'd like to get them all out of there. Eventually, I want to put a pool in. However, I know that according to your criteria, I need to get approved. Right, I need to get that approved first. And that's not coming today. It's not coming this year. I'm still recovering from last year
Sure.
as far as rebuilding my finances. But the middle tree in the question is because of the bark that's fallen off, and I'm down here and it's bark beetles or something. There's also termites in the tree. I didn't have any. That's a nice little backyard. It's tree number 2 is the one that's it started losing the bark, and then we cleaned it up, and then bark started on the back side of the tree, and then it came around on the front side of the tree, or not, or this side where the picture was taken. And eventually that tree has got to go. I'd rather it go at the same time tree number 1 goes. It'd be cheaper for me to have 2 taken down instead of 1 taken down, and then maybe next year the other one taken down. And tree number 3 is a moot point as far as I'm concerned. It's it does have some. Tree number 3 does have some roots that go through the brick. When I pull the brick up and cut those off, and I'm doing a lot more with tree number 2 as far as repairing the bricks, and also the tree number 2 is tilting the fireplace up from its base.
Why didn't you build a fire pit on top of the tree?
It wasn't on top of the tree when I built it.
Oh, okay.
What was that? I didn't hear.
Yeah, that's why I built the fire pit on top of the tree, but the tree wasn't that big when I built it. And I guess in hindsight,
Yeah, I said,
so,
about burned the tree up with the fire.
Yeah, good thing you got a flap on the top there.
that is why that's there. It's a little spark arrestor or whatever.
Okay, Bill, your thoughts on tree number 2?
On number 2, I saw that bark that was coming off. You know, I couldn't tell if some woodpeckers or something been pecking at it, trying to get some bugs out of it was the reason it was coming off, or. But I saw the little strips of bark, but the tree looks very healthy. I don't see any sign of decline in the tree at all. You know, when trees do grow new bark all the time because they get bigger, you know.
That's the biggest of the three, as I recall, isn't
That
it?
is the biggest.
Yeah, that's 26-inch tree there. Number one tree, it has all that rot in it.
Yeah, there's no question about that. And
It's a 24-inch tree, and then.
And you've made it clear, and we appreciate it, that number three is just going to be in the way when you do your pool, and we have to see how
Right.
that pool permit works and all the rest of that. So that's down the road. I'm concerned, Mike's tree service talking about beetles in the tree. Were you aware of that? Is that any description?
Could be some pine bark beetles in there, but I don't think it's any southern pine beetles.
It's not-
Any sawdust around the
No,
tree
right.
or anything. Signs is usually you have the sawdust, and you usually see some decline in the top when you start seeing like southern pine beetle in it.
Okay, discussion, thoughts? David?
Yeah, I didn't really notice anything as far as the bark when we were out there. Of course, number one obviously can go to, how long have you been there? 20-something years? So that tree's grown that fast on that, against that fire pit.
20-some years. Whenever it was built, 2002, 2003.
I imagine it's doubled in size, wouldn't you think?
Probably. Mhm.
Well, that's a good site back there. There's some big trees in the neighborhood. This is a particularly interesting tree. It's a species, or it's a hybrid, we feel. And there's some in your neighbor's yard as well, and things are healthy right back there. Anyhow, Ginger?
The tree looks very healthy to me. I would ask, when you put your pool in, it's only number 3 that you're going to have to take out?
If number 1 and 2 come out, now number 3 is going to come
If
out.
number 2 stays there, would that,
Number 2 stays? No,
would that have
number 2
to-
stays, and 2 and 3 will have to come out, and as well as the fire pit will have to be,
Taken up.
so you're going to take
Taken
the
out.
fire pit out too?
yes, well, yeah, take it apart and build a new one.
You have enough brick there?
Excuse me?
You have enough brick there?
You saw it?
Yes, we saw it. Had to walk by it.
Hey, somebody's giving brick away.
There you go.
That's the winner.
All the patio copy was labor, so that was backbreaking work putting that in.
I bet.
All right, well. Any more discussion? Anyone want to make a motion? I'll make a motion. I would like to delay the decision on tree number 2 pending your pool permit, since so many things are going to change. I understand the leverage of having 2 trees taken down when being more efficient than having just one and having to come back and get number 2. But since we wouldn't approve number 3 for that basis, you're going to have 2 trees taken down with pending the pool permit.
3 is the smallest tree.
Right.
It was the cheapest one to come down.
Right. But I would like to see that and make a motion that we wait on decision on tree number 2 and 3 pending the pool permit.
Oh, like I said, number 3 is moving forward.
Okay.
It'll stay.
Well, it's on the application. It's
Oh,
3
okay.
pine trees, so that's
Yeah,
why
no problem.
I'm even bringing it up. And it's got a number on the picture, so it's just got a red letter. So that's my motion. Is there
I
a
second.
Any more fun discussion? Bill, we got anything more to say?
No, it's a healthy tree right now, so I mean, it doesn't meet criteria.
Right, you've heard what we've said, and, with the cases, in view of the ordinance,
Yeah, I understand, yes, sir.
and we always are reluctant to hear loose talk about pine bark beetles or bark beetles on trees, because it does send a ripple of fear through, and there's a lot of critters that spend time on the tree.
Well, I talked to another guy, he gave me an estimate on it. He said that was not pine borer beetles, it was the wrong tree. Then he pointed out trees in the neighborhood that.
Yeah, a lot of the trees in pine forest have southern pine beetle in it.
Right, but it's different, he said it was a different variety of tree than
Yep.
this one. Now, to me, that's a pine tree.
Yeah, that's
Just
what they
like
were saying, it's kind of a hybrid tree.
Yeah.
every
You'll see
one.
it's got little tiny pine cones and little shorter needles and all that.
Right.
Okay, well, that's good. That was corrected. Someone said, no, that's not the bad guy.
Right.
Right.
And
Because
I,
the house we looked at before, obviously there were similar kinds of, the tree before, the one pine tree that was, woodpeckers were going to town and on pine bark, an old tree, they're gonna make holes in the bark, they're gonna,
I know it's not woodpeckers.
okay. No, not yours, but this house, I mean,
Right, it's something
it's
else.
just evidences of a bio-community in these trees that you don't always see. Okay, no more discussion. Let's have a vote on the motion. The final motion, Ginger?
Aye.
Oh, excuse me, everyone in favor of leaving the trees pending the swimming pool permit application approval, say aye.
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 All opposed?
Just to clarify, number one tree can come down.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes,
That's
those
fine.
are scary.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
You're
for your
welcome. Thank you
time.
for your time. The one last item would be is if there's any other miscellaneous items of discussion that anyone has, including Bill.
Nope, I don't think so.
Ginger?
No, I'm going to ask Jesse more about the changes to the UDO, since she's here.
David,
I'm good.
do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you, Peter, for doing that.
Peter, you did a good job.
These landowners were so nice today.
Yeah, right.
They were very
That
understanding.
really helped.